Beautiful race, it has brought us to a right time where we shall get into the elevator. What's meant to lift you from where you are to where you want to be. And in this edition, for the previous editions, we have been talking about doing the thing. And we've discovered also what could limit us from not starting to do the thing. We have not only stopped that way, we went beyond getting started as we get started to doing the thing. And we also discovered that at that time we are heading towards doing the thing, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of setbacks, there are a lot of the things we spoke of in the last week's edition. But in this week's edition, the elevator will be giving you some rules, like rules. Each and every school has got rules and regulations. And not only that, every cinema hall has got rules and regulations. Here, meaning that in each and every setting, you go to the district, go to the hospital, go to different offices, there are sets of rules which have been placed there. In order for you to get what you want to get, you need to follow those rules. And the elevator, as I told you, it's commonly known as the lifter, lifting you from where you are to where you want to be. You could be in floor number 1, but you want to go to floor number 7. That is the work of the elevator. But as you enter into the elevator, you just don't enter there. There are also rules. You enter there, follow those rules, and before you realize, you're already the other side. Now, let's get into business today. Did you know that also, during that time you want to lift yourself from where you are to where you want to be, there are certain rules you need to follow, and I've summarized a few of the rules. I believe I'll share 2 only because of time factors, and those rules, if you apply them or if you put them into practice, they could lift you from where you are to where you want to be. They can make you feel good about the struggle you have so far achieved, or could maybe give you more courage and energy to push a little bit harder again. Now, let's get started. Rule number 1. Whenever you want to be someone, whenever you want to have something, and whenever you want to pick yourself from where you are to where you want to be, whether you want to be the most famous, whether you want to be the most educated, whether you want to be the best in your workplace, follow this rule. 1, it's you first get lost. Now, I don't mean that you're joining and you're instantly getting lost. No. When I say getting lost, it means that you will have to figure out your own path. Because every time you join something, every time you start something, you'll get theories of opinions. Like, people will tell you, no, don't do like this, do like this, do those words. Yeah, there'll be very many, to an extent that you'll even get lost on what to do exactly. Okay, now, as you start something, the number 1 rule you need to follow is that you first have to get lost. Take your time studying the environment. Take your time studying the causes of how you can move ahead, and don't only stop by that. You may feel at some point that you are not going ahead. Sometimes you sit and you feel like, what I'm doing, it's not kawa. There's that negative voice which will be speaking inside you, and each time that voice speaks, you feel like, I need to follow this voice. But that is the part of the process. You first feel like even what you're doing, it's not the best way. You feel like what you're already having, it's not yet enough. That is what they say, feeling lost, not having what was thought that you are going to be having. And not only that, you have to know that the different turns, the unexpected, the complaints, the 90-degree turn down, that every time you start something, you face something challenging and it first gives you another setback. That is one thing you have to know. Meaning that you have first to get lost, spare some good time in getting lost before you finally discover what you can settle for. Because in those moments, you will finally get what you deserve to get. And the truth is that every person feels this. Everyone has failed planning at some time. Everyone has failed, maybe even going ahead. They felt confused at the time they were starting. But that shouldn't define you. You'll experience that. You'll feel like you're confused on what to do. You'll feel like you are not having any clue. You feel like you've failed in planning something to work out. That is normal. You have to follow, because that is set number one, the rule that will lead you to where you want to be. That is the only rule that can drive you to the game of, getting something in life. And the second rule you need to know, it's fairness does not exist. Life is not going to be fair on your side. There's no way that the world will stop and be like, okay, you are struggling, let me be fair on you. No, it's not going to be like that. You are going to face those challenges, as I told you in the previous editions. But you also know that things will not go the way you've planned. Meaning that life will not be fair for you. Okay? You'll feel like, for me, I'm working hard, but I'm not getting what I want to get. And you'll feel like the people who don't deserve are the one getting it. You'll always have such types of feelings, okay? But the elevating word right now is that is part of the journey. You have to feel that. You have to know that life is unfair. You have to know that fairness does not exist, okay? But the moment you continue staying positive and going for what you're going for, you'll finally land into that thing you deserve to get. Meaning that do the best, stay positive, and do the right thing. You will finally get there. And maybe to sum up this moment of elevating, it's that success takes time. Some people want to prove to the world that they got everything, like they have everything life would ever demand from them. And this means that whenever they get a pay raise, whenever they get a job, they want to buy all the things they wanted, or they had dreamt of buying. But the question is, are you willing to wait? There are people who gets into a new job and they feel like even, being beyond the manager. But the rule of the game is that success takes time. You cannot just join a workplace today and you expect that in the next month you are going to be the top manager. No matter how qualified you are, it will never happen in the history of the world. There's that gradual process. There's that time it has to take for you to land into that position. Now, if you want to elevate yourself from where you are to where you want to be, you consider that rule that success takes time. And also the other rule is that you need to polish your image. The first impression, the word you speak, the way you look at people, the way you dress, those things, they can give the first impression. Meaning that the other rule you need to know is you need to know the rules of how you can set a good impression for you to lift yourself from where you are to where you want to be. You need to always have that. And the last rule is that failure is an option. When you get to starting up something, you can either opt to fail or you can face those failures and don't define your future. It's more of meaning that every time you start something, every time you pick yourself, you started moving and you want to go ahead in life, you will have some kind of setbacks. There are points that you'll feel stressful, there are points of, uncertainty, but it shouldn't keep you down. Most people, they experience failure once and they surrender everything they were hoping for. Like, tejakola. You also leave that one. You start another one. You face challenges 1, 2, 3 times. Tegenda kukola. And you'll find that you're changing things every day and then. But get to know that also in the part of the process, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Some people, when they make mistake once, they now define their entire future by that mistake, of which is something I've always told you. The rule of lifting yourself from where you are to where you want to be is that failure will be an option.